what's happening? I hope you're all well. So I just watched the weigh-in for Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte, and Tyson Fury weighed in at 264 pounds and Dillian Whyte weighed in at 253 pounds. So Dillian Whyte, this isn't a out of the norm weight for him. He's a bit heavier than when he fought Povetkin in the rematch. And Tyson Fury, this is the lightest he's been for some time. I think that he was heavier for the last Wilder fight, and he was heavier than that for the previous Wilder fight. But I think he was lighter than that for the first Wilder fight. In fact, I'm going to check very quickly how much how much Fury weighed for the Deontay Wilder fight. Let's have a look here. Let's have a look. So for the first fight, he was 256. So he's heavier than he was for the first Wilder fight, but he's lighter than the other two. He's heavier than the Otto Wallin fight, and he's heavier than the Tom Schwartz fight. So it's not like a crazy weight for either fighter. One thing I noticed is the significant height advantage for Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is listed at 6'9", and Dillian Whyte is listed as 6'4". I think that's a bit inaccurate for both fighters, to be honest with you. I think Tyson Fury is about 6'7", and I think Dillian Whyte's about 6'2". But either way, that still leaves 5 inches of height. I think that's a 5-inch height advantage roughly there. So Tyson Fury is obviously the longer, taller guy. Dillian Whyte has surprisingly long arms. Now, with regards to the weigh-in, Tyson Fury seemed his usual self. He seemed, confident and, chatty. Although he did seem a bit more respectful towards Dillian Whyte than he was towards Deontay Wilder. Now, Dillian Whyte, on the other hand, he seems a bit more not as aggressive as he normally is in press conferences and weigh-ins. He doesn't seem as... Normally, it's like he likes to be a bit more aggressive, a bit more rude to his opponents. He seems a bit more friendly. He seems a bit more mellow. He seems a bit more mellow in this whole build-up to the fight. The way he's acting towards Tyson Fury. And he doesn't seem as confident. Now, I'm not going to say he's not confident. Maybe he's acting. Maybe, he's pretending not to be confident or what have you. I don't know. Or maybe he's being nice for a reason. I don't know. But he doesn't seem as confident and as extroverted in the press conference and the weigh-in as he has in previous fights. Normally, he likes to trash talk his opponents. He likes to make fun of them. He likes to get up in their face. Think about the Derek Chisora build-up. Think about the Lucas Brown build-up. Think about like Joseph Parker. With Tyson Fury, he's definitely been more respectful, and he doesn't quite seem as confident. I'm not going to say he's nervous, but he doesn't seem as confident. So Tyson Fury, for the most part, has been himself, although I'd say he's been a bit more respectful towards Dillian Whyte. And on the other hand, you've got Dillian Whyte, who is being a lot different than he normally is in the build-up to a fight. So, is Dillian Whyte acting nice on purpose? Is Dillian Whyte nervous? I don't know. Either way, that is something to consider. Now, with regards to the fight itself, I know what Tyson Fury normally does at this weight, and I know how Dillian Whyte normally performs at this weight. I think Dillian Whyte came in at a good weight, to be honest with you. Because Dillian Whyte at this weight is going to be strong. I mean, how much did Dillian Whyte weigh? I know he weighed 247 in the second Povetkin fight. I want to look at what Dillian Whyte weighed in. 252 for the first Povetkin fight. And what I'm more looking at is Joseph Parker fight 258. So against Joseph Parker, Dillian Whyte was solid and strong. And he was 258 in that one. In this one, he's 253. I'm not expecting too different because I just remember watching Dillian Whyte against Joseph Parker looking really, really physically strong. I think he's going to be similar to that. And he was also strong in the second Povetkin fight. I think that Dillian Whyte's going to be very strong at this weight. He's going to have his punch power at this weight, and he's going to be able to do what he wants to do in there. Tyson Fury, on the other hand, at 264, he's not going to be as strong as he was in the Wilder second and third Wilder fight, and I don't know at this weight if he's intending on going on the back foot, if he wants to go on the back foot in this fight, which I think is his best option, he's not going to be as effective as when he was on the back foot earlier on in his boxing career. He's not. I'm telling you, he's not. He's not going to be as effective as when he was against Vladimir Klitschko. Against Vladimir Klitschko, Tyson Fury weighed in at 200 and, let's have a look, 2-4 something, 247. So he weighed in at 247 against Vladimir Klitschko and got up on his toes and had some success. He's 263, he's 264 here. So you can't imagine he's going to get up on his toes and be just as effective as he was all those years ago against Klitschko. Or even Christian Hammer, he fought Christian Hammer on the back foot at 260. But you know, Christian Hammer, I mean, you could compare it. Derek Chisora's second fight, you know, 264. You know, but at the end of the day, Tyson Fury was a lot younger back then. And I think that, you know, to cut a long story short, I think Tyson Fury is not going to be as effective at this weight as he was against Vladimir Klitschko when he, you know, if he's trying to go on the back foot, he's not going to move as well as he did when he fought Klitschko. He's not going to have the reflexes, he's not going to have the speed, and quite probably not going to have the stamina. So I think the weight actually went better for Dillian Whyte with regards to how much he weighed. I think I've seen Dillian Whyte be effective at this weight. I don't think Tyson Fury, if he goes on the back foot, which I expect him to try, I don't think he'll be as effective. So I can see Dillian Whyte closing him down, you know. I can see Dillian Whyte closing him down. When I look at the two weights, the only thing I'm concerned about with Dillian Whyte is he as confident as usual? If he is as confident as usual, and he's not nervous about the task ahead, then I can see him having real success in this fight. If Dillian Whyte is as confident as he normally is, and he's just, for whatever reason, he's behaving the way he's behaving, but in terms of his confidence, he's just as confident as he normally is. I can see him, after that weigh-in, having real success in this fight. You know, jabbing his way in, using the jab, which was very effective against Povetkin in the first fight before he got knocked out. Using the double jab, which Dillian Whyte often does, using that double jab. You know, jabbing his way in, getting physical on the inside. I think that Tyson Fury won't be as strong on the inside as he has been against Wilder in the last two fights because he's just lost some weight. If he really was looking for physical strength, he wouldn't have lost that weight. But I don't think he'll be as strong as he was against Wilder. I just don't think that's going to happen. So, really and truthfully, I think the weigh-in with regards to the weights went better for Dillian Whyte. Now, how is this fight going to go? I expect Dillian Whyte to get on that front foot, take centre ring. I don't expect Tyson Fury to try and take centre ring. I expect Tyson Fury to be moving around the ring. I expect Tyson Fury may have some success early on. Dillian Whyte's not a fast guy, so early on I expect Tyson Fury to have some success. However, I feel that Tyson Fury's jab isn't powerful enough to discourage Dillian Whyte. You see, Tyson Fury's not the most powerful puncher. He's got many other tools which make him an excellent fighter. However, he's not the biggest puncher. So if he's on the back foot and typically you lose power on the back foot. Punchers, you know, you got people like Deontay Wilder, David Haye, George Groves. These guys can punch with power on the back foot, but a lot of fighters cannot generate the same power or generate similar power on the back foot as they can moving forward. I expect Tyson Fury to be on his bike in this fight. He's not a big puncher to begin with, but he's also going to be on the back foot. So I don't think he's going to really hit Dillian Whyte with anything that is going to really discourage Dillian Whyte. Think, oh, do you know what? I'm not going to come forward anymore. I don't think that's going to happen. So I expect Tyson Fury to be, you know, peppering Dillian Whyte with jabs, peppering him with, you know, right hands. He might go southpaw. I expect him to go off. I expect him to primarily be in southpaw. I expect him to primarily be in orthodox in this fight, and then occasionally he might switch. And if he experiences success when he switches, he may keep it that way. But I don't expect him to really have the same success as he had against Derek Chisora on the back foot. You're going to see Tyson Fury on the back foot, peppering with jabs, peppering with right hands. and trying to make sure that Dillian Whyte can't close the gap. You're going to have Dillian Whyte in the center of the ring, working off his jab and his double jab. You're going to have Dillian Whyte looking for the body shots when it does get on the inside. You're going to have Tyson Fury trying to wrap Dillian Whyte up when it gets on the inside. Really and truthfully, this is a lot closer than people realise. A lot closer than people realise. Because I don't think Tyson Fury is going to have the power to discourage Dillian Whyte. I think Dillian Whyte's got a good chin. People say, you know, he's been hurt more. I think he's got a good chin. I think he's got a good chin. I don't think he's got the best chin, but I think he's got a good chin. Tyson Fury, I don't think he's going to hit Dillian Whyte with anything that's going to discourage him. I think that he's going to try and box on the back foot. And I think Dillian Whyte's going to be centre ring. And I think Dillian Whyte is going to, you know, the more I think about this, you know, because Dillian Whyte's going to be landing those body shots, I reckon. Because Tyson Fury is open to the body. You know, Tyson Fury likes to do a lot of lateral movement and a lot of this and a lot of that. But when you're doing that, your body doesn't go anywhere. So I think Dillian Whyte's going to be having some success to the body. I think Dillian Whyte is going to be jabbing his way. Dillian Whyte's got long arms. He doesn't look like it, but he's got long arms. Like, he's got longer arms than you would expect someone his height to have. So I think Dillian Whyte is going to be having success jabbing his way in. I think that Tyson Fury is also going to have success with his jab. But I don't think his jab is going to be so hard that Dillian Whyte isn't prepared to take one to get in. I expect Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte to be wrestling a bit on the inside. I want to see who's stronger because Dillian Whyte is very physically strong. People don't realise this. He's very physically strong on the inside. Honestly, I can see Dillian Whyte winning this fight. Honestly. Tyson Fury did not look good in the third Wilder fight. He won because Wilder weren't good in the third Wilder fight. Honestly. Tyson Fury, can you honestly say that Tyson Fury was spectacular in the third Wilder fight? He wasn't. The reason he won that fight is because Deontay Wilder, with his not being rude, terrible footwork, was unable to maneuver himself around the ring out of range of Tyson Fury. He was just unable to create the space because obviously Tyson Fury being the physically stronger of the two out of Wilder and Fury, Wilder didn't have the footwork to move around and out of Tyson Fury's range. Tyson Fury was walking into Deontay Wilder in that third fight. And Tyson Fury was very slow, very sluggish, but because of Deontay Wilder's lack of footwork, he was able to walk into Deontay Wilder. Watch that fight. Watch that fight. Basic footwork drills that Deontay Wilder is lacking. I'm talking about basic footwork drill. I'm talking about people in the gym who've never had a fight who have got better footwork than Deontay Wilder in the gym. I'm not joking. So that was the reason that Wilder lost that fight. One of the reasons he lost that fight. Tyson Fury in that fight was hittable, slow reflexes, did not have the same speed, was not applying the same head movement. I'm telling you, this fight could be an upset. I'm telling you. Because he was not impressive in his last fight. And I don't see how... You know, Dillian Whyte is one of those fighters who, if he's not discouraged, he's going to make it rough, he's going to make it tough, and he's going to really get in your face. So, honestly, Tyson Fury is the favourite here, but I am not going to be surprised if Dillian Whyte knocks him out. I'm not going to be surprised. So that's my preview. That's my preview. You know, that's my preview. I honestly think that Dillian Whyte can knock Tyson Fury out. You know, I'm honestly going to say that I think that Tyson Fury can get knocked out here. So you're looking really at a Tyson Fury points win, or you're looking at Dillian Whyte getting the win either by, you know, points or knockout. Anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and I'll see you on the next video.